Hello artists, ready for another week of art? This project is going to take 2 weeks. Today will be really short, next week will be really short, but we actually have to let our paint dry, so we can't complete it all in 1 week. Today we're going to make some symmetrical monsters. I think we've made monsters a couple times, but I think it comes out to be something that doesn't look like anything, so that's why we call it a monster. You could call it an alien if you want to too. And you're going to need some paint. I'm going to use liquid acrylic paint. You could probably use watercolors. It'll be a little bit tougher. You're going to need to use lots of water. If you only have watercolors, just put water, and then when you drip it, you're just going to drip it on the paper the same. Just don't let it dry too quickly. Acrylic paint takes a little longer to dry. You could use any colors you want, as many colors you want. Today, if you've noticed, can anybody tell me what colors I have? I have the primary colors, red, yellow, and blue. The primary colors are the ones that make up all the other colors, so I decided to try that because we're going to kind of mix it as we're going. Today's activity might be a little bit messy, so if you have a parent nearby, you might want them to help you. Unfortunately, you could not do this with markers, crayons, or colored pencils. You have to use paint. So if you don't have any paint, feel free to watch my video and then do some free drawing. You can free draw your own monster, but this activity requires paint. All right, so I have a really big piece of paper. You don't need a really big piece of paper, but if you want to keep your, like I said, it's very dirty. If you want to keep it clean today, put some newspaper underneath your paper. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to fold our paper. And we're going to do that before we add the paint because it might be a little bit better. So I'm just going to take my paper. I'm going to fold it in half. Then I can see where the fold is. So all we're going to do is we're going to drip some paint. Now you don't want to go too much, especially if you have a little paper. So stay towards the middle so it doesn't leak out, especially if you didn't put newspaper like Miss Elliott didn't. And all I'm doing is dripping a couple little drops. You can do it as much as or as little as you want. If you want to use a paintbrush, if you want to keep it a little more clean, so you don't drip too much paint, especially if you have really liquidy paint. Like I said, if you have watercolor paint, just add some water to it and then just drip drops of watercolor paper. You might have to take longer than somebody that's using acrylic or wet paint. All right, now you're gonna fold it back over and you're gonna smush it. You can smush it in any directions. You could go out, go up, you can go down. Just careful at the edge. Your paint might leak out. All right, so I don't know if you guys can see on the video, but I see my paint, probably that blue, going around my paper. I'm gonna make sure it's squished everywhere. Oh, see, look at Miss Elliott's making a mess. I knew it would happen. All right. All right, and then you're gonna open it back up. Oh, it looks kind of like a bug right now. I kind of see like a dragonfly. I'm gonna add a little more paint down here. And maybe even like lines, so it comes out a little bit more. All right, I'm gonna close, and you can add as much as you want. You can add none if you're like, oh my gosh, it's perfect, then don't add any more. But if you're like Miss Ellen, you're like, I think I could do a little bit more. And you see how fast it spreads, so really be careful. If you're only using a little piece of paper, make sure you don't put too much paint. Hopefully watch my video before you tried it. Let's see. Wow, I really like those colors I picked. You know what? I think I like it this way. This is going to be my monster next week. Next week, we're going to finish it up with some construction paper. I love doing paper crafts. So we're going to take our monster and go up a level with it. I really hope you liked today's activity. I know it's kind of short. Feel free to do more than one. That might make it a lot of fun. And then you can pick which monsters you love. All right, guys. Have an awesome day. I'm going to clean up my mess. Bye, guys.